What's up, friends and foes? Welcome back to Let's Get Nerdy. It's been a while. This is from a galaxy far, far away and a long time since we made a video. My name is Wyatt.
My name is Corey.
And this is Let's Get Nerdy. Today, we're doing a Star Wars video for the first time.
About 10 years ago, as of December 2025, kicked off the new, I don't know if we can call it new anymore, but the Disney era of Star Wars with the release of Force Awakens. So with that, as we kick off the year, and there is a new Star Wars movie looming, the first one in 6 years? 2026 to 2019. Would that be 7 years?
Sure. Math.
Did I say 2017?
I thought you said 19.
I said 2019.
Okay.
All right. So with that, it's been about 10 years of Disney Star Wars. So we want to take a minute to talk about, we're going to talk about the movies. This video, we're specifically going to talk about the sequel trilogy. That's Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. You'll get another video where we talk about both Star Wars stories, Solo and Rogue One, and then probably a couple of the shows.
Yeah.
But we'll keep you updated on that.
Things are in the works.
So with that off the bat, I guess we'll just go all the way back, not to Force Awakens, but to the announcement of Wyatt. Do you remember where you were when Force Awakens was announced?
Not a clue.
Really?
Really couldn't tell you at all. I don't remember much about that.
I could tell you.
I know you've told me, but I can't remember.
We were in the den of your old house. Where we would always have like the sleepovers, and we would always get in trouble for talking too loud.
Oh yeah.
You saw it came up on your phone. And you're like, oh, like I think we had already known about the December. I think we had already known about Disney buying Star Wars.
Right.
But then you were the one who like get the article on your phone like, oh, like the new movie's coming out in 2015.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that at all?
Not a bit.
Because we had a whole conversation. What's funny about that is you were the one that's like, oh, that's awesome. I can't wait for that. And I was the one that's like, I don't know if we need like another Star Wars movie. Like, I don't know if that's a necessary thing. You're like, yeah, it's not needed, but it's still going to be fun. And I think by the time we got to Force Awakens, you and I have completely swapped sides of like, I think I was fully on the Force Awakens train. I don't know if you remember.
I remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
By the time the first trailer had come out, like I had literally bought, because it had dawned on me, because like I guess more context, like I was a Star Wars kid.
Yeah. Like
the one thing that like anybody who like every Christmas and birthday, if an aunt or uncle or sibling was giving me a gift, it was going to be either Star Wars themed or Spider-Man themed. And like I was firmly a Star Wars kid growing up. So by the time Force Awakens came around, it really felt like, oh, this is the first time we get to experience a Star Wars movie, other than like I did see Revenge of the Sith in the theaters.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first movies that I remember seeing in the theater was Revenge of the Sith. So that part was exciting to get to like see Star Wars on the big screen,
Yeah.
So.
Well, and it also helped that like some of the other things that we're feeding into is like I also loved J.J. Abrams, the whole because he produced Cloverfield. His Star Trek movies were awesome. There was one other Super 8. He did Super 8, which I loved.
I've still never seen that.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a great, very in the vein of Cloverfield. Great kind of non-Godzilla kaiju movie. Kaiju. It doesn't matter.
Same.
Yeah, and then it also had John Boyega in it, who at the time I knew him from one of my favorite movies at the time. I still love it. It was called Attack the Block. Have you heard of it?
Maybe.
It is a great like alien invasion movie about like it's literally like him and his friends are protecting their like apartment block. And it's in England. It's a very fun movie. Huh. And he is the lead of it, and it's one of those movies where like I'm trying to think of an example. It's one of those movies where you go back to, like he's very clearly the one who's making it out of this movie. Like everybody else is doing a really good job and is very entertaining, but like he's the guy in this movie. And so when I saw that J.J. Abrams was directing it and John Boyega, was in it. That's where I started to get a lot more excited. And then the first trailer hit. The fucking was it like do you remember the first trailer?
No, I don't.
It was like they're like, do you feel that like there's something's changed?
I don't remember.
It's one of the lines from it ends up being one of the lines from Force Awakens,
okay.
but it's like you get your the first shots of like Kylo Ren and everything like that.
I don't remember anything
That's
about
fair.
the first trailer.
That's
I'm
fair.
so sorry.
That's totally fine. I just remember because I got so hyped about it. I bought. Not only did I have a T-shirt, like the I bought Star Wars shirts, which I actually was getting dressed for this video.
Yeah.
I don't have any Star Wars shirts anymore.
I don't either. I don't have anything Star Wars.
Yeah.
I need to change that, but
Yeah. I have a lot of things got to.
Same.
Which is funny if you think about it. This is from Revenge of the Sith to Force Awakens is a very similar journey from Godzilla Final Wars to 2014, which if you don't know, we're also massive Godzilla fans. If you like Godzilla, we have a whole series about it. Check it out. It's pretty much the only thing we've done so far.
Yeah, pretty much.
So anyways, I got so hyped about it. Even before I had ever seen the movie, I actually got, I don't know if you remember, I bought a Kylo Ren helmet.
I vaguely remember that.
It wasn't one of the cool like Black Series $200 ones. It was like a $30 like. It had a cloth to cover the back of it, and it had the voice changer that didn't really work. And then I also I had a Kylo Ren lightsaber.
I did buy a Kylo lightsaber after we saw the movie, but
no, I remember I was the only one who had the Kylo Ren lightsaber, and then we saw the movie. And then we all went to Walmart and bought lightsabers. Yeah. And then fought in the parking lot. Yeah. It's one of the greatest memories. It's a great.
It was fucking great, dude.
But, so getting into it and getting to our thoughts and nostalgia for Force Awakens is where we'll start. What are your, when I mentioned Force Awakens, what are your initial thoughts?
So, strangely more so than I think the movie itself. Like, I think I remember the experience of going to see it, and like you just talked about that Walmart trip, and like just that it was fun, and we just had a good time with our friends, and it was exciting, and I liked the movie a lot when I first saw it, and I think since then that's kind of waned a little bit, and not that I hate The Force Awakens by any means, because I don't, but it's definitely, it's my favorite of the sequel trilogy, but it's not one that I like a lot. I think it sits pretty firmly at a lower ranking for me of all the Star Wars movies. But yeah, I mean, I haven't watched it for a long time, to be honest, either. So that might change too upon rewatching it. But
that's
I do you want to get into the plot of it, or are you just doing like?
Well, we don't need to get necessarily the plot of it.
Okay.
What I will say about Force Awakens is, in my opinion, it is the one I do still love this movie. When we first left the theater, I was over the moon about it. I saw it 5 times in the theater.
Damn.
Because you and I saw it like 2 or 3 times together.
Yeah, I think so.
I saw it then like with my dad, and I think I managed to just go see it by myself one time. But yeah, I saw it 5 times, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And literally, even by the 5th time, I was like, I still love this. Like it, I stand by that. I still think I think this would be a much higher ranking movie overall if the fucking rest of the sequel trilogy stuck the landing.
I agree with you. I really do.
Because it introduces so many interesting plot points. I hate when the weakest criticism I think that people have of this movie is it's just a rehash of A New Hope. Because I don't think that's actually really valid when you look at like the details of how they care. Like, because they say like Rey is an orphan on a desert planet in a much different context than Luke. Luke was like a kind of not a spoiled, but like a bored, angsty teenager.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas like Rey is a character of like somebody who had to like literally scratch and claw and survive and like scavenge her entire life.
Yeah. With
like very like almost seemingly nobody protecting her.
Yeah. Kind of seems like it. Yeah.
And then the idea of like Finn, John Boyega, as this stormtrooper breaking free from like the programming, if you want to call it. Like, there's so many interesting plot elements in it that I do think sets it aside from A New Hope and the rest of the things. And then the action sequences themselves are some of the best in the whole
really
series.
Good. Yeah.
That initial scene when like Finn, I always think about it as like when Finn and Rey are running out of Jakku, and they like happen upon the Millennium Falcon, and when it like fails to take off and it drops out of the frame and then comes back up with the music soaring. Being in that theater when that first happened, and like I think it was the first time I was ever in a theater that like did do the plot clapping in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Like, I can't think of a moment before then that happened. And I was definitely one of those, like, fuck yeah. It's still a movie I look back on and I still love, and I think I would actually probably say is in my top 5 of Star Wars movies. Like, I don't know if I could give you a ranking off the top of my head, but it would, yeah. It is still one I look, and I think it is failed by what comes after it.
Yeah.
And I will say this, I don't think it's failed by Last Jedi. And we can wait on that conversation a little bit. But
no, I just to piggyback on that for just a quick second, I think you're absolutely right, because it introduces a lot of exciting ideas and exciting characters, and I see why people make the comparison to A New Hope, but I'm okay with it. I don't really care all that much. But I think what follows it really, really, really failed what was set up initially, and I think that's I don't know if that's on Disney or where you want to place the blame on that, but that really kind of just put a kibosh on all the steam that that movie was making, I think, or the excitement that it was making, because they just the following two are such dumpster fires, and well, yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, and we don't need necessarily like stay like segment one movie per conversation or anything like that. So if you want to jump around. But what I'll say is, like, I do think this movie ends up putting all the introduces characters in a very incredibly strong way, puts them on really interesting paths that aren't necessarily like seen all the way through. Fucking Poe Dameron in this movie
is
cool. So goddamn cool and charming. Anytime I watch it now, his and Finn's dialogue, but giving Finn his name or anything like that is there's so many so few characters I think have that immediate chemistry that those two have. And unfortunately, I don't think we see that capitalized throughout the trilogy.
I agree.
I think they really give Finn a few different options for like romantic partners. I don't think any of them make as much sense as Poe.
No, I agree. They don't.
And that movie, I'm like, oh, these two are going to get together. I remember at the time, I also, in the summers, worked at a church camp.
Yeah.
And I made a lot of kids uncomfortable. Not like kids. It was like other teenagers my age when we were having these conversations. I made them uncomfortable by being very vocal. Like, no, Finn and Poe should end up together.
Right.
Like, but... this movie does come with its controversial decisions of Kylo killing Han, and then preventing the reunion of the three.
Which I think is a pretty big mistake, but
I do and I don't. Again, I don't think there's any mistakes, in my opinion, made in this movie. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie. I'm not like 100% defending all the, the decisions made, especially like the weird idea of like Han abandoning Leia and all that. Again, like, I get when people have beef with this movie, other than the comparing it to Han, like Hope Solo. What am I saying?
A New Hope.
A New Hope.
Yeah.
When people compare it to New Hope, I understand the criticism, and I'm not like, fuck you about it.
Right.
But at the same time, like, I think this movie is very solid and I think it's just a really solid, enjoyable, and fun movie. Yeah. Especially the last, like, God, that scene, especially because it gives us that frame when what is it? I forget what planet they're on, but like when they're trying to track down, when Han takes them to like that bar, It's kind of another cantina scene.
Oh, okay. I remember what you're talking about, but I can't remember what
and it's
the name of the planet is or anything.
Where is I have the and it's they go see Maz Kanata, who is one of my favorite characters of the sequel trilogy.
I don't remember that guy.
She's like the weird little old lady with like the big glasses.
Don't remember.
Okay, it's fine. And you get that fucking awesome frame of the TIE fighters flying out from like the whole like they're silhouetted with the sun.
Oh, okay.
That's such a fucking cool
scene.
But yeah,
I really wonder like what would have happened had they just stayed the course and didn't flop directors and didn't.
So it's not that, and we can just go ahead and barrel into the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, because again, I don't think I have anything controversial really to say about Force Awakens other than just having such a fucking good time with it. And
right.
I still love it. I still stand by it. Last Jedi, I actually think would still be a really good Star Wars movie if they had stuck with the decisions it's made. I think Rise of Skywalker, I would actually, let me ask you, in ranking, does Last Jedi, like, is who's above and below? Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, who's above or who's below?
I really probably think, like, I think initially my brain wants to say Last Jedi, but I think I despise Rise of Skywalker more. If I, like, when I really think about it for a second, because I feel like they tried to do such a course correction with The Last Jedi, or with Rise of Skywalker,
right.
that it was, like, it was too much, and it just felt like they didn't know what to do, and they were just throwing ideas at the wall, and whatever stuck and made some kind of sense somehow. They were like, that's it, we're going with it.
And I 100% agree. So, like, for me, I think Last Jedi is better than Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
I think Rise of Skywalker, they tried to fit too much into... They almost tried to, like... This movie is now 2 movies. Last Jedi, we'll pick and choose from there what we want.
Yeah.
I think Last Jedi still... Again, there are decisions made. I get people not being a huge fan of the decision of Luke kind of being this weird hermit, like the idea of him almost wanting to kill Kylo.
Mm-hmm.
I understand people not being a fan of that, but I also understand this idea that, like, looking at Star Wars, like, these trilogies, the prequels, the original, and now the sequel trilogy, these are snapshots of these people's lives. There are 30 years between it. There's 30 years of, like, finding, and I think this is where Last Jedi fails, of not giving enough context as to why Luke made these poor decisions, right?
Yeah.
I loved the idea of, and if you remember, I said it when we were walking out of Force Awakens, I loved the idea of Kylo Ren killing Han Solo, because I love the idea of Kylo actively feeling the call, and he says it in, I forget if it's in Last Jedi or Force Awakens, where Kylo says, I feel the light side calling to me, and him actively severing that connection by killing Han Solo, his father. I left him going, oh, Kylo Ren's going to be fucking evil in this next movie. He's going to be something, and, like, I actually think what they should have done is when he killed Snoke, that is his move to becoming the Emperor, or becoming the Emperor figure. I think bringing Palpatine back, obviously, I think everybody agrees, was the fucking dumbest thing. It doesn't make sense. It's like, and being like, oh yeah, Snoke is fucking part of that. Snoke or Snoke?
Snoke. I think. I'm pretty sure it's Snoke.
Yeah, it is. It is. But, and I know I'm going on a long...
Oh, you're good. You're fine. Go ahead.
You know, like, that's where, like, I don't mind that, like, yeah, it also makes sense for Han to run, you know, if his son has become this evil guy, to run back to what he knows as, like, a safety blanket. It doesn't necessarily make sense for Chewie to follow, but that's fine.
They're, like, inseparable at this point.
Yeah. And, like, but yeah, I forget where I was going. Oh, I do wish more context was given as to why Luke was, Because I would actually like the idea if they introduced the idea that Luke probably isn't really a good Jedi master. Like he may be the most powerful of the Jedi, and maybe like the most like purely good at heart, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's a good teacher or a mentor or leader. Right. Like that's comparing it to another thing I was obsessed with as a kid, Dragon Ball Z. Like Goku's the strongest, but he's not a good teacher. Piccolo's a way better teacher for him, hence Gohan, as you know.
Yeah, as I know, because I have seen Dragon Ball several times.
I'm losing my point here. You can take over.
No, so I don't necessarily disagree with the choices of like. I don't like the choices that they made with like Han and Luke and so on. But I think, like you said, if they were gonna go with these choices, they should have given a lot more context as to why they reached that point in that character's arc and why, like it didn't feel validated, like you said. I don't know, like I guess I see why people get upset, and I kind of could share this view, whereas like they started this new trilogy, it's a new life for Star Wars, but they tried to carry their legacy characters through it, which is fine, that's cool, but then I guess maybe they felt like they were disrespected, which I could see that. But again, I don't disagree with their choices that they wanted to end these characters' arcs or whatever. I think, like you said, they just didn't give it the validation that it needed. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that Luke is a bad teacher. Because who is he? He hasn't had we haven't seen him teach anybody outside of the few snapshots of his class. Like we weren't given anything to go off of. Yeah. So.
Well, that's like. Because is it Sam Witwer? Is that his name? Sam Witwer. The voice actor for Darth Maul?
For Darth Maul, yeah.
He makes the point of like, and I think I understand where he's getting like the point of like the Luke that threw down his lightsaber in the face of his greatest enemy in Return of the Jedi wouldn't be the one to take his lightsaber up against his nephew. And while I agree with that on the surface, it's like, but there's 20 years of different content, and like, it even happens in one of the, we were going to probably do a video on Mandalorian, he pretty much acknowledges that he can't train Grogu.
Yeah.
Because, like, Grogu's got some fucked up shit going on. And whereas, like, a guy like Yoda probably wouldn't. Which I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's just hard to take a big risk with characters like Luke because people see that and idolize that, and that's their childhood hero, and they want him to be like the perfect character and the pillar of good, or of what is good in the world, and it's such a risky thing to try to alter that character.
And I totally respect. So, I totally I get that. I don't disagree. Like I would have loved to see a way more triumphant Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that was the decision maybe to put him down that path. It just in general was a poor decision. Mm-hmm. But if that's what they were going to do, I think, like we've said a few times now, they definitely should have tried to justify it more than just expect people to be okay with their childhood hero being a hermit on a rock that disappears.
Yeah.
But I guess in terms of Last Jedi as a whole, I like just a very basic observation, like the color scheme they went for it with like the black and white and red for the like the packaging and the what's the word that I suddenly can't think of. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It just has a cool color scheme to it.
Yeah.
And I like. Oh, what the fuck does Kylo turn in this? It is in this one, right?
Yeah.
Did they kill Snoke at the end?
Yeah, Kylo kills Snoke.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That scene is cool. I still really enjoy that. But I guess I'm kind of a sucker for like a villain pulling that kind of like, I'm gonna be a good guy for a second. It's just a cool fun moment. But you're right. They should have just stuck with. That should have just been his arc into being the Emperor or whatever title he wanted to give himself at that point. And it shouldn't have. They didn't need to go into anything further than that.
Yeah, and
I think killing Snoke. Sorry, I didn't mean to keep cutting.
No, go.
Killing Snoke that was cool actually, because he was kind of a lame ass, like just Palpatine,
Yeah,
imposter anyway. Like he was like a goodwill Palpatine.
yeah, and I think that's what I will say.
So
Like coming out of Force Awakens and this is like, yeah, he's Snoke is probably the weakest addition to the sequel trilogy in terms of new characters or new iterations on characters. But I think even back then I was like, yeah, but that's because he's like a how do I say it? Like he's a placeholder. He's like he's who's in the way of both Kylo Ren and General Hux. Which
right.
General Hux is another character that I do really enjoy.
Yeah, I like Hux too. Yeah.
Yeah, of like this sniveling, like he thinks and he in a way knows that he could do this shit better than Snoke and Kylo Ren, but he's like they got the fucking power, so I can't really fuck until he's like, fuck it, I hate you guys.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, and like I think there was a lot of decisions made in The Last Jedi that like I really enjoy. I think a controversial character that I really like coming out of Last Jedi that most people hated is Rose.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of indifferent about Rose.
I love the idea of a character who, when finished trying to escape from the battle, like I do kind of I will say like I've always kind of disliked the idea of that. In this movie, Finn is trying to do what he can to get out of this fight because it really felt like at the end of Force Awakens that like it positioned him to be all in on the fight.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe I just read that wrong. Yeah, but being like I dislike the kind of backstepping, but I also kind of understand it in a way of like he's somebody who understands the fucking Dark or the First Order or whatever.
Yeah.
That is actually my biggest complaint. I will say that about. I feel like these movies reset the pieces into like different forms of just the Empire and the Rebellion.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it was more so an evolution of the Civil War, where it was like the New Republic versus the Empire or whatever.
I mean, the First Order is kind of a kooky ass name anyway. Like it sounds menacing, but doesn't really make sense because they're coming from the Empire. They're from the ashes of the Empire, so they're not the first of anything necessarily. And I gotta say, their stormtrooper helmets they suck. I hate them.
I love them.
I can't stand them.
That's crazy.
I don't like them at all.
Like, I remember first time I saw it, I was like, oh, that shit's clean, son. I really liked them.
I don't like them at all.
That's fair.
I do. Quick side note: I do think Kylo, like, he just looks cool as shit, and like I love his lightsaber. I know a lot of people don't, but like I fucking love his lightsaber. It's so cool.
That fucking part in Force Awakens, going back to praising Force Awakens, when they're in the forest
in the snow,
and he's doing that like the fucking wound, and he dude, fuck you. Force Awakens is awesome. It's one of the best Star Wars movies ever. Still, because that duel is incredible. Like
that's a really good duel.
People like slight the duels, and I will actually give them like I don't really think there's any incredible fights in Last Jedi or
I don't think so.
Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
Well, the duel like they're not dueling, but we're like the guard rooms where they're fighting all the Red Guard or whatever.
Oh, in Snoke's room.
Yeah. That one's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing like matches the intensity of that forest scene where like the idea of, and I like people are always that's another complaint that people are like, oh, Rey is just able to stand up to like is able to match Kylo's skill right off the bat, and I'm like, yeah, because she's been fighting people all her life. Like it's shown on Jakku that she has to literally fight for her food and shit.
Yeah.
Whereas Kylo actually probably hasn't had any fights. Granted, I haven't read any like. I know Star Wars movies really fucking well. Any of the expanded lore, like comic books and books and stuff like that, you could tell me Gulp Shido is who raised Yoda, and I'm like, for sure, dog, good.
Old Gulp Shido.
Gulp Shido. And so to kind of start moving towards the wrapping up of like The Last Jedi, just because I know we haven't delved too deeply into it. Again, I think I like the Rose and Finn storyline more. I think contextually, like I would have liked to probably see Finn stay with like Poe and stuff like that. But I love the idea of Rose having to like force Finn to look at the shit of like, I'm here because I like want to be here. Like this shit mean like I've lost my sister to this shit, and that's what similar to Andor in Rogue One, which we'll talk about in the next video, where he, what's Felicity Jones' character in that movie? I
can't think of her fucking name.
Yeah, he's like where he is talking to her, and he's like, "You just got here."
Yeah.
He's like, "I've been in this fucking fight."
Yeah.
And similar to Rose, where like I think if they had kept Rose as consistent into the next movie, she would have been a very strong character. I also love the decision or the point where Kylo informs Rey of like, your parents are nobody. Like, they're a couple of fucking traitors that TRADE or I forget. Yeah, they're nobodies. They abandoned you pretty much. Like your parents, they didn't matter.
Yeah,
I liked that idea.
I did too.
Because I also think it's very in line with if the Force is an entity that is making these decisions to shift the, balances and the pieces on the board. It is very in character of the Force to introduce somebody who is very important from nothing.
Yeah.
Because Anakin, Shmi was not a very significant person in the way of the galaxy.
Right.
And I like that idea, and I think that is where all the decisions made in The Last Jedi would have been stronger and would be just as strong. And I think because when you and I left that movie, we were like, "That's a fucking movie."
Yeah, I remember. I liked it when I left. We were in the
parking lot. We were like, that was fucking awesome."
Yeah.
And granted, it may be because of one of the coolest scenes in Star Wars.
Oh, when the one ship. The Star Wars call it slip space? No, they like hyperspace.
Yeah, hyperspace.
When it jumps through the other ship and they destroy it that way,
and
that's cool as fuck.
One of the coolest, I don't want to say sacrifice plays.
That's cool. I don't fucking care. It may not be the most practical plan that they've ever had. I don't give a shit. It's cool as fuck.
Dude, the way the sound left the theater.
Oh my god!
And everybody in the theater was quiet.
Yeah. That was cool.
It was super cool. And then the fucking throne room fight. I think I already said it.
Yeah,
the throne room fight was awesome. Last Jedi is a great movie. The last again, it's just another version of the Battle of Hoth-ish. When that last as they're flying skiffs, is that what they were called?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But then the fucking duel, I don't give a shit. The duel between Luke and Kylo Ren is fucking awesome. I would actually argue that might be that or the Force duel are the best duels in the sequel trilogy.
I think the Force duel still. I'm gonna give it that one.
That one just had more intensity, especially when Finn gets slashed back. But when you realize that Kylo Ren is making footprints and Luke isn't. Do you remember that moment?
No, not a bit.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Vaguely.
Because Luke isn't actually there.
He's right, there. Yeah.
And he and Kylo are going after each other, and Kylo keeps fucking missing.
Yeah.
And then you realize that Kylo, it shows all his red footprints, and Luke's not leaving any.
Right.
And then he's just be seeing you, kid. And that's the fucking Luke we wanted. Am I crazy or what?
I mean, it's cool, but I don't know. It didn't land as hard for me as the forest scene.
That's fair, and I think maybe as I'm remembering these things, I'm also remembering the excitement when it first happened.
Yeah, and
not analyzing as maybe much as I should. But with that, I guess, is there any last things you want to talk about The Last Jedi?
Not really. No. I don't hate the movie, but I don't love the movie either. I like it less than The Force Awakens, definitely, but I think it suffers from the next movie.
Yeah.
It's just the shit rolls downhill type thing.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I would like to watch it again, but I haven't wanted to watch it in several years, I guess, several years.
That's fair.
If that gives any kind of indication. I've watched several Star Wars movies in that time, so...
Yeah, that's fair. So I guess with that, we'll roll into The Rise of Skywalker, which I think is the movie that will have the least amount of nice things to say.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this movie is the one I like. I will say this, coming out of The Last Jedi, when it first, fucking Rise of Skywalker, I felt this overwhelming need to defend it. Because I was like, no, guys. Like, because everyone was saying it was bad. I'm like, and I think it's because I rode so hard for Force Awakens, I needed the sequel trilogy to land.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, guys? The movie made me cry, so it's a good movie. And it did make me cry. The scene when Leia dies and her body, like, joins the Force.
I thought she dies in The Last Jedi.
No, because in The Last Jedi, I remember, she, like, got blown out into space.
Right.
And Kylo Ren thinks he killed his own mom, furthering the evilness.
Right.
And again, yeah.
But she doesn't die in that?
No, remember, because
Okay.
the Force, she forced, like...
Right, she did the whole fucking weird...
Back into floats back into the...
Yeah, okay.
It's this one that she only
yeah.
had a few scenes, and I think it was like a body double or something like that.
Oh, because didn't she pass away during the filming of this movie or something?
I think this one had already been filmed. Last Jedi was already filmed.
Okay.
And this was filming was when
she passed away. Okay.
So to answer your question, yes.
Yeah.
So that's it. But like other than that, yeah, this movie I think you can pretty much argue sucks.
I don't think you even got to argue it. It just sucks.
Yeah. There are elements that I remember liking. Babu Freak. I don't know if you remember him.
I do remember him. I like him.
Yeah. I remember I actually had a status on Facebook where I said Babu Freak, greater sand sign, Baby Yoda. I think that is an argument and a debate I have very much lost.
Yeah, I think so.
I think society has deemed me wrong, and I think I'll accept that. I fucking hate this one.
I hate this movie
There's
too.
so much about it you can talk shit on.
Yeah.
And I will. The whole Finn wanting to tell Rey something the whole time and not being able to.
Yeah.
This idea of like, I hate the also Finn being like, all of a sudden he's Force sensitive.
Yeah, just now.
Like, because I think you can see the tendrils of what they were planning out of Last Jedi from here, with the subject, the group of former stormtroopers being like, yeah, Finn, you laid the fucking blueprint, dude. And like, I think that was fucking awesome, and him leading that battle.
Yeah.
That's where I think the biggest mistake they made in Last Jedi wasn't saying Rey was a nobody, wasn't Luke being a weird guy and drinking out of the tit. It was killing Phasma. Because to me, Phasma should have been like, and I said this when Force Awakens came out. I think Phasma should have been Finn's rival the whole time, and it shouldn't have been like a face to face fight. It should have been like a chess game between the two. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like they really underutilized Finn, and I really wanted him to be a Jedi, or at least be able to use a lightsaber. I don't give a shit if he can use the Force or not.
Yeah.
Give him a fucking lightsaber.
Yeah.
You know, because that's just so fucking cool to see an ex-stormtrooper get a lightsaber. And I agree. He should have been able... I love the idea that you just put out of, it's a chess game between the two. Because I think Phasma looks super cool. And she's a cool character.
She's the Boba Fett of this trilogy.
Yeah.
Except for some reason, people have not managed to hype her up into becoming an icon like they did Boba Fett.
I feel like... yeah. I feel like they had that's a problem with this trilogy of movies is they introduce cool ideas and cool characters and then they're just like I don't know what to do with this, so here you go, and now they're dead.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I even think the way she ends in The Last Jedi, she could have survived that.
Yeah.
Given some Star Wars robot droid bullshit, make her mostly droid,
which would have been really cool.
Been fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That silver stormtrooper. God. And especially I forget her name. She played Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
One of the fucking coolest characters in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Would have been awesome in this. Yeah, that was a really big disappointment. Phasma was actually probably the biggest disappointment to me of the trilogy.
Because that could have been a pretty cool bounty hunter, like post the third movie. Like she's like all half cybernetic or whatever.
Yeah, but I just remember like when the first trailers were coming out, we kept seeing flashes. Of that, and we were like, I don't know who the fuck that is,
but they're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, no. So the Rise of Skywalker. I think the name's fucking lazy. The plot sucks.
Yes.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
No.
It's like I said earlier, like they just threw a bunch of ideas at the wall, and what happened to stick was like the laziest shit that they could have come up with.
Yeah.
And it felt like
the like dagger.
Yeah. The like okay, and like Exegol. Well, okay, the name Exegol is cool, but they have this fleet of like 1,000 Star Destroyers. Yeah. Why? Where the fuck have these all come from? Were they just sitting there waiting? Like, what? So you have this fleet of Star Destroyers with all of the staff on these Star Destroyers. Mm-hmm. They're just hanging out on this weird misty planet while you're fighting a rebellion, a war, or whatever. You're trying to win back, control of the galaxy. Yeah. And you just have 1,000 Star Destroyers chilling on a planet. Yeah. Who thought that was a cool idea?
Yeah, I totally get it.
Or a sensible idea.
Sensible, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the idea of bringing Palpatine back, of like, I will be honest, it's not an idea that I'm totally like, no, that's terrible. Like,
it's not like the craziest thought.
Because like, yeah, what is it? What do they call the expanded lore now?
Legends,
yeah. Like, because there were like series where Palpatine came back. Yeah. So it's not unheard of in Star Wars lore.
I don't even think it's implausible or lazy in and of itself to have him come back and be a character, but just to have him come back and like just he's Snoke, he's in Snoke's position, and Kylo's just so like, up his ass. Is like
it like reduces Kylo to like a lapdog.
Yeah, because I think, to me, I love the idea that, I don't know if it was a theory or if I read this in an article that this was their idea or what. I don't know where this idea is coming to my mind from, but I remember hearing and or reading in the past that like Rey was supposed to be like the embodiment of the light side and like, the most pure form of that, right? Mm-hmm. And Kylo was meant to be the antithesis to that, like the most pure of the dark side. Mm-hmm. And I fucking love that idea. That's so cool. And I think if they would have just stuck, or if they would have made him just be the Emperor and stuck with that and made him just embody evil and hate and anger and really see that through, that would have been really cool. Yeah. And then if Palpatine even like tried to come back, it would have been pretty cool for him to like almost like use Palpatine in a sense.
Yeah. Or even, like, the idea of Palpatine, because I know, like, Sith aren't supposed to have Force Ghosts or whatever. Right. But, like, Palpatine's powerful enough that he is a Sith and still has a Force Ghost. Yeah. He could be have been the one speaking to Kylo Ren the whole time, instead of Anakin or instead of, whatever. I also think, the idea, there's a really compelling idea that Kylo Ren is trying to be this ultimate figure of the dark side, trying to be the Emperor, trying to fill that role, and he just can't. He's not powerful enough. He's not evil enough. He's not like, there's not enough of what there needs to be for him to be that guy. Yeah, I think could be a really compelling version of it as well.
That too, yeah.
Other than just and again, I just hate that. Like, she's Palpatine's granddaughter.
Yeah, that's like, so fucking goofy.
Psych. It's not that she's not important. She's also the most important person. Yeah. I don't know, like.
But in that, I feel like that kind of fueled the fire that people were stoking about, like, they picked Rey over Finn and that whole argument, and it didn't help that argument at all. And it feels like they were just like, oh yeah, she's Palpatine's granddaughter for the sake of like headlining it, and like just trying to draw attention to it and make it be like a whole like crazy, I can't believe it, but it just felt stupid and like I don't know, I didn't like it at all. I don't know. I would have been more excited had she been like Kenobi's.
Well, I remember that was a theory that she was like related to Kenobi.
Yeah.
Because there was all the theories coming out of Force Awakens of like who is Rey's, what is Rey's path.
Yeah.
And I think that is why they ultimately did the Palpatine decision, because when in Last Jedi, when they're like, she's a nobody, she comes from nobody's.
Right.
People were like, what the fuck? You know, people got mad about that decision. Yeah. I remember that.
And I don't know why. It's not...
Because they wanted... Because, like, it's so funny. It's where Star Wars fans are the fucking worst. Like, and that's usually why I would not consider myself, like, I love Star Wars. I don't consider myself a Star Wars fan.
No, you're not a fanatic.
Because, yeah, and I like to think I'm a little bit more consistent. And again, because, like, you could spit anything at me, like, Legends-wise, and I'll be like, yeah, probably. That probably happened. Like, I don't fucking know. I forget. No. What the fuck? Oh, I forget the fuck I was saying. What was I saying before?
You're talking about Legends, and then, fuck, what were you saying? Oh,
no. It's because Star Wars fans always complain about, like, everything has to be tied to the Skywalkers or everything.
Yeah.
And then when something is not tied to the Skywalkers or tied to the central, like, canon, they're like, what the fuck? So, and I recognize these are probably two subsects of people or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, they're all vocal and they're all annoying.
It's annoying as fuck. Yeah.
And because, because it was coming out of Force Awakens, everyone's like, or, you know, she could be Luke's clone for, you know, when his hand was cut off and fell down the fucking well or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, like, and I remember that conversation was very fun to be had.
It's a fun topic to have, or a conversation to have. But, you know, okay, and this might be a bit controversial, maybe, or whatever, but, like, I almost, like, personally, I feel like I would have rather them had just done something like a new trilogy that wasn't such high stakes. Like, it didn't involve Death Stars and lightsabers and, like, okay, lightsabers, that's different, but, like, it doesn't need to be another galactic war, you know?
Well, yeah, I think you could make that argument of, like, if you look at what is well received of the Disney Star Wars era, it is the kind of smaller, more intimate stories that give you a better understanding of the world. You know, like we're going to be doing a video about Andor. Andor is a great example of, like, it's a pretty small story in this grandiose thing.
Yeah.
But it does so well to build out the world of Star Wars.
Yeah, it's so well crafted, and like, I feel like if they had just given Star Wars a good starting off point from, like, from a smaller scale, it would have let people kind of get maybe, you know, like, the younger generation that wasn't as familiar with Star Wars or whatever, maybe would have given them a point to get into Star Wars. People that were
I also, you're saying that, but, like,
which okay, hang on, I know what you're gonna say. Maybe that's a stupid thing to say anyway, because Star Wars is such, like, you watch it when you're a kid, and everybody watches Star Wars.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say though is this kicking off the first Star Wars movie in a decade. Okay. Kick off Holger with starting small. It's not. I don't think he can start small with Star Wars. Like, you could argue, like, A New Hope is like a small movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also had it's the start of all of this.
Yeah.
Not
But
you do need to bring it back with a bang. Yeah. That's fair.
So with that, and then I guess kind of getting towards wrapping up this conversation. Like, my last complaint about The Rise of Skywalker, I actually don't know if I have anything, because I will say this is the only Star Wars movie I've seen. Like, I've seen it maybe twice. This is the least watch of a Star Wars movie I've ever. Maybe Solo. But I think I have more nice things to say about Solo than I do this one.
I definitely do.
Just cause, like, this one suffered the most from also I think Force Awakens and Last Jedi did a really good job of balancing the nostalgia bait of, like, I think using the characters of, like, from the previous generations of, you know, Leia and Luke and Han in, like, in more like centered to the plot, not just like, oh, look who's showing up character. Whereas, like, I think this one did have, like, Admiral Akbar showing up randomly.
I think so.
Was that Last Jedi?
No, I think he wasn't. I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah, and then having Lando back all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I'm not going to complain about it because I love Lando. He's a great character. But I will also argue, and I think this might be, if we're going with the plot that this movie gives us, I think the wrong person died.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
In terms of moving forward, I think it would have been way more compelling if Rey dies and Ben Solo has to live, and he's the one who has to rebuild the Jedi Order, and he's the one who has to spend, like, knowing all these terrible things he's done, pretty much, like, killing Han, kind of killing Luke, almost killing his own mom, you know, like, has to live with this guilt and the shame of what he's done. And he has to, like, his whole life is spent repenting and having, you know, I think that's just a little bit more compelling. I also think the sudden shift into Rey and Ben loving each other.
I hate it. I fucking hate it.
This movie, this trilogy, tries to, like, how do I say that? Every romantic, like, subplot they try to establish and follow through on, never, like, is probably the worst part of these trilogies, of, like, the Rey, of, like, Finn trying to tell Rey his feelings, Rose and Finn having, like, or Rose having feelings for Finn, and then the Ben and, you know, or Kylo and Rey, like, hey, that one never felt to me like a romantic, like, it felt way more sibling-esque.
Yeah, it did.
And same with Finn and Rey. It felt more like sibling-esque or friends. There is literally, to me, one natural romantic plot in this trilogy, and
Poe and Finn,
and they didn't follow through with it. But that's okay.
But the Rey and Kylo thing was just so weird and kind of gross feeling, and didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
Not a bit, but yeah, I've only seen this movie one time in full. I tried to watch it again a couple years after it had been in the theaters and stuff, and I didn't even finish it.
It's like super long, isn't it? Like 3 hours almost?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. But, I mean, with that, as we, I guess now as we definitely are getting towards wrapping up, I will say this. The biggest sin of the whole trilogy is... or the biggest, most disappointing part to me is the music. Is, say what you will about the prequel trilogy, and I will say a lot of terrible things about the prequels. I genuinely think Episode 2 is the worst Star Wars movie.
I like Episode 2, though.
It's so boring.
Yeah, but I like it.
But even that has some banger music.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there is one new... I could not tell you what Kylo's theme is, if he has one.
Same.
Like, I could not tell you a piece of new music that comes out of the sequel trilogy.
I couldn't either.
The way I could be like Dual Fates.
Well, okay. I do think Rey's theme from The Force Awakens is it might, I don't know if it's called Rey's theme or the Jakku, I don't know, doesn't matter. That song I do like, and that's the only thing I can think of.
I could even tell you about that.
Okay. Fair enough.
You could play me,
I'll play it for you after this video.
Okay. But,
But I see. I agree with you.
So I guess overall, as we're winding this video down.
Yeah.
Overall, are you glad we got the sequel trilogy, or?
Yes, I am. Honestly, overall, because as much of a bitter taste as that trilogy has left into my mouth, we had a great time going to see those movies.
Yes.
It did bring Star Wars back.
It did.
And I think we've gotten from the dumpster fire that is those trilogies, we've gotten some really good Star Wars, because I think it made the writers and the creative team, at least in some capacity, take a step back and actually think that they had to make something that wasn't just a pile of shit and we were going to enjoy it.
That's one of the biggest compliments I will give, and I don't think people give the creative teams behind Star Wars right now enough credit. They have done a really good job of coming back from Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, they really have. Yeah.
There are some less than stellar shows.
Yeah,
sure. Entries. And, unfortunately, I think it's the ones that people were looking forward to the most that didn't hit the mark. But these, I think... And that's something we'll kind of get into eventually. We're not going to cover all the shows right now. We're probably just going to cover like Mandalorian and Andor for right now, but I think there are a lot of really good shows that are worth celebrating and all that. So with that, that's all we're going to talk about for the sequel trilogy for right now. I guess I should say I'm pretty glad we have the sequel trilogy because, again, Force Awakens I will stand by till the day I die. Last Jedi, I'll let people hate. Rise of Skywalker, I will join in on that one too.
Yeah.
But are you excited for, I guess, are you excited for the Rey trilogy?
No. Not really, no.
That's fair. I think if they, at least, whatever they decide is the story, if they commit to it for all 3 movies,
yeah,
I'm cool with. But yeah, I will hold my excitement until after the first one is out.
I'm not excited. I am intrigued because it's going to take a lot to revisit that character, I think, in that particular storyline, because we haven't stepped back into that since The Last Jedi.
Yeah, there's been...
I'm sorry, The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a big task to tackle.
I don't even know what year that's coming out.
I have no idea.
But with that, we'll hopefully be here talking about it.
Yeah, hopefully.
We do have another video coming your way. We're going to be talking about Solo and Rogue One specifically on their own video. And we have more Star Wars content coming your way as we lead into... what is it called? Is it The Mandalorian and Grogu?
Mandalorian and Grogu, and then I think Star Wars Starfighter. Is that this year or is that next
year? That's
year?
next year.
Next
that
year?
one I'm very excited for.
Yeah.
So hit that like and subscribe button if you're excited for those as well. Comment down below what you think of the sequel trilogy. And you know what? We're going to have a contest, Wyatt.
Oh.
Comment your thoughts on the sequel trilogy down below. If we like and reply to your comment, you get to take us to Disneyland.
Damn.
Thank you very much
sick,
for your contributions.
I gotta
say. We've been. My name's Corey.
I'm still Wyatt.
We gotta get back to nerding out about terrible Star Wars movies.